Hey guys, Cath here, and today we're going to be making Lord Uroko from Nagi no Asukara. This is a commissioned piece, and I made the jacket, sash, and pants. So here we go, let's start. So using the shoulder width and length of the cosplayer, I created a custom pattern, roughly custom pattern, and then I cut it out to create a mock, which is what you see me working on now. I did this because I never made a jacket like this before, so I wanted to create a mock first for the cosplay to try on for a fitting. So that is literally what you're seeing here, and once the fitting is done, I end up using that to create a new pattern. So right now I am sewing the shoulder seams together, and then I'm pinning and sewing the side seams together. So yeah, so there's that, and right now I have not edited the front, except for now, as you can see, I'm cutting out the rough shape of how I think the front should look. Fitting has been done, so now we are tracing the mock front to a new pattern sheet, and we are editing it as usual. As you can tell, I'm adding a bit more to the front because we noticed that the front panel was a bit too small in the width. So that is what you're seeing me doing here, and we're just finishing that up real quick, and we're going to cut that out, which you'll see shortly. And actually nope, now we're editing the back part of the pattern because that was a bit too long. So we're doing that real quick, and now we are pinning and tracing the front part of the pattern, and there we go. I'm going to pin that down so that's nice and neat, and then we're just going to cut it out as usual. So there we go, we're cutting that out, and that's looking pretty good so far. Woohoo! Okay, and then we're going to do the back piece. As you can see, we have the pattern pinned, and now we have it traced. Magic. So now we're just going to cut that back piece out, so that's all done. And then we're just going to serge all the edges, so that way they don't fray. There we go, we're going to do that, and now we're going to iron the seam, serge seam down, and then we're just going to sew that down so that way we don't see our lovely serge stitch. There we go, now we're just going to pin the sides together, right sides facing in, wrong sides out. There we go, sew that down, and repeat that step. There we go. And okay, and then we're going to iron our seams open, and then the outer edge, as you'll see here shortly, we are going to iron that down so that way we can sew the outer seam down as well, which you see me doing here. There we go. And I kept the serge part facing up so I could see and make sure that I was actually sewing it down instead of messing up. So there we go. Take all the time that you need, and the end part we ended up doing a blind stitch because I realized that part of it would not fit in my machine, and I didn't want it to look all wonky. So that was just a regular blind stitch, as you see. I'm not pushing the needle all the way through. As you can tell, I'm just doing a little bit of the, I guess you can call it thread, the fabric thread that I'm pushing through. And there we go. And we're at the end, and we're just gonna tie it off here so that way that's all done and it's not gonna look all wonky and stuff. Okay, first things first, before you do anything, you want to iron your fabric so that we get rid of any kind of wrinkles, so that when you are tracing things, you don't have to worry about wrinkles getting in your way, because that is really annoying. In my case, I'm not using any kind of pattern, I'm literally just measuring out where the lines are gonna go, and that is it. I just did that for the entirety of that. So then I just folded everything over and lined up my edges, and then we are just going to pin it down and cut it out. As you can see here, my fabric is already pinned, so I'm just cutting out the first piece, and this fabric has been folded over in half, which is why this piece here seems very skinny, because that's what it'll hopefully look like at the very end. So wow, let's do this, and we're done. There we go, there we go. So we unpinned, and then we marked the next piece, which we don't fold in half because that'd be dumb. So yeah, so we cut out the entire width of it, and we fold everything. Fold the fabric, fold it, fold it, fold it. Yay! And we pin. Oh no, first we gotta check. We gotta check and make sure like the thing's even. There you go. There you go. Check to make sure that's even. So I don't want wonky lines. Okay, there we go. Apparently it's even now. Maybe. Oh, no, how to fix something. Okay, there we go. We're gonna pin that down again. Wow, look at those pins. Pin it down. Then we cut it out. And we're gonna repeat that step for the rest of your fabric until you run out of the fabric width. Which I think I only did like twice. Okay. Let's see. I have 5 pieces. I think 5 pieces. Did I have 4 or 5? I had 5. Then we're gonna serge the edges together. Not together. We're just gonna serge each edge individually. We're gonna sew each edge after this. So we're gonna repeat this, the pinning process, and the sewing process until all your pieces are sewn together. Woo! Iron those edges. Yeah. Then we're gonna fold it in half, wrong side facing out, right side facing in, and iron it down. Repeat that until you reach the very end of your fabric. Yeah. Then you sew. Sew it all down. Woohoo! Not done yet. We still gotta serge that. Serge all the edge. Serge it so it's nice and neat. Woohoo! Man, that's a lot of serging. There we go. We're done now. We're gonna sew one end down, because that's gonna be your end, and yeah. Then we're doing the lovely process where you just like flip everything right side out. That is the most tedious project in sewing, is like flipping everything right side out, especially if it's a tube. Iron that tube down so it's all nice and flat, because it needs to be, or else it'll look all wonky, not being flat. There we go. Woo! I think we're almost done. Maybe. Yep, we're done. Almost. Woohoo! Reached the end of that ironing, and no more ironing for this project. Yeah. Oh, no, got some more. Okay. Now we're just gonna do a blind stitch on the end there, that way no one can see where you sewed everything. Yeah. There you go. And that's the end of that. We are done. First things first, iron out your pattern at a low settings that get rid of the wrinkles. Then you pin your pattern to your fabric and then trace your pattern to your fabric. Yeah, like so. Try to get tracing paper that is an opposite color of your fabric so that way you can actually see your lines, because that's kind of important and I need to get a new one. Then you pin. I use like 50 million pins on this thing because like I didn't want to like mess up all the pins. Woohoo! And you cut it out. It took a while. Gosh, these pins are really big. Oh, joy. Yay! Okay, and move that. Okay, then, because I'm lame, I just fray checked like all the edges. I was like, I don't want my pants to fray. Woohoo! Yeah. Okay, and you pin the inseam of the pants, because you gotta do that first, because if you sew the crotch, you kind of like mess yourself up. Sew that down. Woohoo! Sew that inseam. Yeah. Okay, and then you pin the crotch and sew it eventually. So yeah, that was fun and annoying. Then you trace, pin, and cut out your waistband, because yeah, I gotta figure that out. Gotta hold the pants up. Somehow. Okay, so if you had someone for a fitting, you can like measure out where the pants are gonna end. So you adjust that and trace and pin that down and cut that out, which will happen like a few seconds once I figure out, make sure it's all even. I was terrified on that part. And then we had to like bring in the waist, because like skinny, tiny. And then you get to pin and sew your outer part of the legs, because otherwise, like, how would the pants stay on? Here you go. Woohoo! And then you pin your waistband, finally doing that part. Do that, yeah, pin that down. Okay, yep. Okay, so sew that, and then fold over and sew the other part to it. There you go. That was like annoying to do because like I wanted to make sure it was all nice and even. So I took my time doing that part. That was like sweet. I was so happy though. Really proud how it turned out. It turned out great. Lovely. I loved it. I was so proud. Much pride. Woohoo! Okay, and then we're just gonna whip stitch the back part of the waistband so that way I leave the top part open so that I can put a drawstring in, as is what I'm doing now. So that way you can tie the pants shut. And making so you can't see the drawstrings when they're put together. Yay! Because character don't have drawstrings. Then you create the tubes for the drawstrings on the pant leg so that way it can like be drawn tight around the calf area, which is where the pants end. So we're gonna pin that down so we can sew it. So that, and you do this twice, and then we're gonna like add snaps to the pant drawstrings because I didn't want the drawstrings to be lost inside the pant leg because that would be bad. And so yeah, then you seam rip the hole for the drawstring to go through, and then we're gonna put that in there. There we go. And I'm gonna repeat that step like twice. And tedious work, tedious work, tedious work, and okay, snap together. There we go. Hey, look, it worked. And then we just like hand sew the place where you seam ripped, so that way, you know, doesn't get any more loose. And there we go. You're done. Thank you all so much for watching. This means a lot to me. And there'll be more making of videos in the future, so feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of those. And as before, take care, be safe. I love you all so much, you glorious beings of starlight. So bye!